Good morning, YouTube. Frog in my throat. I got my morning voice going. Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to Good Morning Intuition on this beautiful Thursday. I'm happy to see you guys. Come on in. I'm going to bless and clear the space. I've got this like tarot incense, and I got it in a pack, and it had all different cards, like the sun, the moon, or the sun, and lovers, and the star, and the Wheel of Fortune, and things like that. And today we're opening up the Sun Pack. The Sun Pack. Good morning, Nikki Garza. Good morning, Christine. Welcome. Welcome. Good morning. All right, let's clear and bless the space. Take some deep breaths. You know the drill. Bringing in the new, letting out the old. Making room for the fresh vitality of today's energy. Good. Okay, so we're going to take a couple more deep breaths and do our opening prayer, and then we'll jump into our practice today. God, spirit guides, guardian angels, ascended masters, loved ones in spirit, ancestors, those who support us on our spirit team. Help us today, please, to tune into our intuition. Help us receive our messages loud and clear. Help us obtain the insight we need to tackle some of our biggest challenges. And please give us the comfort of timelines when appropriate so that we know we're on the right track and things are moving even when they aren't. And we ask for your love and support every day, that the guidance you give us, we would also feel your love in that guidance. We ask you to help turn on our intuition to a higher level so that we can really use it to serve us for the greatest good in a big way and serve others for the greatest good in a big way. We accept the part of our mission that involves being tuned into our intuition. We know our mission is to use our intuition no matter what else we're here on earth to do. And we just honor and celebrate that today, and thank you for this connection. And I say amen, and so it is. Welcome. Okay, so I've got a practice for us today. I have like a working notebook where I write all my work stuff, like, my ideas and my business and my planning and my strategies or like whatever. And then I was also using the same notebook for my Good Morning Intuition, and I started filling it up really, really quick. And so I was like, you know what? I should really be switching to a different notebook for Good Morning Intuition. So enter brand new notebook. But what we're going to do is do a gratitude practice today. I have 5 1-minute claircognizant hits, and then I have a card reading for us today. What I wanted to talk about today in our gratitude list is I was inspired last night. I was asking Spirit what we should talk about, and I was pulling some cards, and what really stuck out to me is kind of that time that's like the calm before the storm. I was being drawn to and channeling and receiving messages that were kind of the nature of, sometimes things get really crazy and hectic. Sometimes good things happen and they sweep us off their feet and keep us really, really busy. But there are certain moments in our life where we can take a breath. And sometimes those moments are when we're trying to manifest something that we have not yet been able to manifest yet. So, for example, right now there's a couple of things that I have on my mind that I'm trying to manifest and create. And here I am, asking spirit, when is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? And it's like spirit says, shh, be still, be calm. You need this time and this moment right now to be ready. So you're blessed with the stillness that is now. So it got me thinking about, times in between big manifestations or times in between, periods where you're running a lot of energy or there's like a lot of responsibility or there's a lot of, excitement. And what I wanted to do on the gratitude list today is I wanted to work with the times we felt really grateful to have quiet, still moments or periods in our life that were quiet and still. And again, often the trick is to look at the time when you were trying to manifest something right before it manifested. And you would almost be like, when is it going to happen? Almost like impatient. But something about that time period is also extremely quiet and still and beautiful for that. So, our gratitude list today is quiet and still moments or time periods in your life where you experience quiet and stillness. Maybe it could be the first time you moved out on your own, in your 20s or 30s, the first time you had your own little tiny studio that was all yours, the first time you decided to work from home and you know, it was less complicated, just worried about yourself, right? So just think about anything that speaks to you. Quiet and still moments or time periods in your life. Let's list these out and really understand, how grateful we are for the moments that are downtime, even if they're the moments prior to what we're trying to manifest. Okay. So here we go. Gratitude list, quiet and still moments or time periods from real life. Okay. Here we go. I don't know about you guys, but something that came up for me that I have a bunch of on my list are like moments and time periods of solitude. Sometimes I think solitude works against me because I'm a very social person and I really love interacting with others and, bouncing energy back and forth. And it's really good, to fight depression, for me to, get out and be social. But also times that when things were quiet and still were also times where I was just in my own energy, taking care of myself in my solitude. So something I noticed here kind of reframes the way I think about being alone or having my own space without sharing it with others. Because usually I think about it the opposite way. Good morning, Gigi. Good morning, AF Pulley. Good morning, Christine again. Carol, good morning. Good morning. Okay, so hopefully you got some good stuff on your gratitude list there. Let's move on to our 1-minute claircognizant hits. Some of them are inspired by the gratitude list that we just talked about, which is why I went into detail. Some of them are little tangents from there. But the first question we have today on our 1-minute claircognizant hits is, Spirit, how can I find stillness now? How can I find stillness now? So think about what feels like it's up and swirling around, and maybe the energy is hectic or crazy, or even just really dynamic, or there's just a lot of stimulation. There's a lot of hats you're trying to wear, a lot of things you're trying to do, and stillness does not come easy in those time periods, right? Stillness does not come easy when there's like a lot going on. So the question is, Spirit, no matter what's going on right now, how can I find stillness now? How can I find that stillness? That stillness where everything is clear and calm. How can I find that now? So question number 1, Spirit, how can I find stillness now? 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. I love all your guys' little emojis. I love all your emojis in the chat. You guys are adorable. Okay. Question number 2. Question number 2 on our 1-minute claircognizant hits is, Spirit, am I trying to rush a resolution to something? So remember when I talked about sometimes the stillness is the time right before you get the blessing or the manifestation, in which the energy sweeps you up and takes you on another path, and now you have to focus or be engaged with that. So sometimes, again, the stillness comes beforehand. So if we're trying to rush a resolution, we're trying to pull ourselves potentially out of the quiet, still space prematurely. And so the question is, for number 2, Spirit, am I trying to rush a resolution to something instead of just being still, right? So question number 2, 1 minute on the clock. Spirit, am I trying to rush a resolution to something? Here we go. Okay, let's begin question number 3. Question number 3 is, Spirit, how can I make it through to the blessing? How can I make it through to the blessing? So, this is the idea that sometimes moments of stillness come before moments of manifestation. Often in these moments of stillness, we can feel, if you identify this way, sometimes a bit impatient. We may think that things are not maybe manifesting or happening because of some, you know, unwanted delay. But what if it's not a delay? What if it's just that there is a need for a time of solitude and quiet, peaceful space prior to things heating up? So, the question today for number 3 has to do with, being in a space of quiet and stillness and maybe trying to force something from happening or force something to happen. Like, my manifestation, where is it? I need to do this. And that energy of like force and push versus just being still and saying, oh, this is the time of now and the time of then will come, right? So the question number 3 is, Spirit, how can I make it through to the blessings? So it's really a question about patience and being in the still space without trying to go against the opposite nature of it and force something to occur, instead just being still and satisfied. Okay. So question number 3, Spirit, how can I make it through to the blessing and be in peace and be satisfied until it comes? Okay. Question number 3, 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. How can I make it through to the blessing? Meaning, how can I sit still and not force until something happens on its own? Okay, let's move on to question number 4. Question number 4 is, Spirit, what guidance do I need in this space before things move forward? Again, from a quiet and still space, sometimes things aren't really moving. Sometimes everything is just still, right? So when things are cooking and moving forward, it might take on a different energy than quiet and stillness. So the question number 4, what guidance do I need before things move forward? Receiving that guidance and taking a pause for something to drop to head to heart might be why Spirit is giving us the moment of stillness, to give us time to integrate something from head to heart. So just in case there's, a real specific reason for the stillness before the activity that's going to occur, the blessing that'll manifest, the things you'll be responsible for, the opposite of things being still and calm. Before that happens, sometimes we need a little bit of guidance, and that's why Spirit is having us sit in a still space. So, question number 4 is, Spirit, what guidance do I need before moving forward out of my still space? So, in case you're being still to manifest a message, let's ask Spirit right now what that is. Okay? Question number 4, 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. All right. Go ahead and write your final little note about question number 4. We are going to jump into question number 5 now. Question number 5 is, Spirit, how can I best prepare for my next phase of movement? So sometimes receiving a message is necessary, but also some preparation might be in order. Sometimes the calm before the storm allows us to, board up the windows and have time to do it, right? So, whatever that is for you, Spirit, how can I best prepare for my next phase of movement? So, no matter what the next phase of movement is, of course, being still and quiet will give you the time and the resource to channel energy into preparing for what's next. So, question number 5 is, Spirit, how can I best prepare for my next phase of movement? 1 minute on the clock. Here we go.
Ooh, those are good questions today. Okay, everybody. I've got a card reading for us today. So go ahead and wrap up your questions. And if you have an oracle deck or a tarot deck that you want to grab and you want to follow along with my spread, but do your own cards, go for it. That would be awesome too. You can maybe even kind of look at my card and your card and coming up with something that feels right with both messages. So I've got a 5-card spread about peaceful, quiet places, and I channeled this last night. And what was coming through for me was, number one, just the nature of the stillness. What was still? A little bit about, where to identify the energy of quiet or stillness in your life right now. Card number 2 was about remembering what was good. So saying not only about what is the stillness that you have, but number 2, what is the benefit of that stillness? What are we getting out of it? What are we allowing ourselves to being present with that stillness? What are we allowing ourselves to accomplish or achieve? Sometimes accomplishments and achievements happen even when you're not reaching for something, but just when you're sitting still. It's the nature of quiet and stillness, right? Question number 3, or card number 3, is really asking, is there anything in this time of quiet and stillness that I should be, focused on releasing? Number 4 is, it says pause here, which is another way to revisit the stillness. But again, it's talking about not just what is still, but number 4 is talking about what exactly is the end game to the stillness. Like, what exactly is the stillness, not what it is, but what is it doing? Okay. And then number 5 is this is to come, meaning what is on the other end of a quiet and still phase. Okay. Even if you're just experiencing some quiet and stillness in one area of your life and the other areas are not so much, then we maybe just be talking about that one area that is kind of still or not necessarily moving very fast. Okay. So you can interpret this as your heart's and mind's desire. Let me start pulling our cards. So again, card number 1 is just the nature of the stillness right now. Something going on within the stillness. Okay, card number 1 is love. Let's read this. And again, this is the kind of been working the past couple of days with the John Holland messages. What is this? The Spirit Messages Guidance, Daily Guidance Oracle deck. I like John Holland. Okay, love. Love is the foundation of your existence, and you're just as worthy of receiving as you are giving love and compassion. While love can be a beautiful emotion, it is equally a form of energy that propels you through life. Okay. So what are we still on right now? What is the major theme of what's going on in our life?
Thinking about love and thinking about quiet and thinking about stillness. This may be going a direction for us where you may know other things that you channeled today about your stillness, but the card reading may be going in the direction to say sometimes when you don't have the love, the pat on the back, the support, the cheerleading, the encouragement, the love, the support, right? From others, maybe it is a place where the solitude ends up giving you the opportunity to fulfill that for yourself. Um, kind of like that magical power of what it's like to be single. Not that this has to talk about romance or anything, but this could also be talking about not necessarily that you need this aspect in the future, but it could also be talking about the fact that if things have been still when it comes to love in any way, it may be that you were learning to love yourself, okay? Or learning to self soothe and be enough for you. So, again, this could be romantic or not. It could just be about support. But think about that in context of love. And again, card number 2 is remember what's good. So, the silver lining and the bright side. The silver lining and the bright side is serenity. That's pretty relevant. It says the most important relationship you can have is with yourself. This is a time to honor, nurture, and love yourself more by seeking out and removing negative feelings and emotions that are left over from yesterday. Don't let past issues and resentments interfere with your serenity today. So it's almost like in your solitude, you're able to keep things less complicated and you're able to have the relationship with yourself that you usually try to find in other people. That is very interesting. And you can, put that in context of just that blanket statement, meaning just like love and support in your life. But if you're thinking about something in particular, like let's say that you've been challenged with like wanting to start an entrepreneurial venture. I'm really tuned into that. So let's just use that as an example. And the stillness was, you know, giving you a chance to be still in order to maybe manifest something that you wouldn't usually try to manifest. And then the card about serenity, the most important relationship you can have is with yourself. Maybe you've been building the desire to fulfill your own needs instead of get a job elsewhere, right? So you can think about it in context of whatever you need. But the first one was about loving yourself and supporting yourself. And the second one was about being what you need for yourself. And in that serenity is sort of finding your own strength. Okay. So the next card is about, if there's something to be released, here. You are not alone. We are here for you. We never left. Through the sadness and loneliness, however, you cannot sense us near and feel how much love we are sending you. We are your family, your friends, and your guides. You never walk alone. We walk right beside you. Man, this is touching my damn heart. Okay. So the first card is really about like you felt alone without support and without love. Number 2 is you needed to be alone to feel your own love and support for yourself. And number 3, it's the idea that you are alone that needs to be released, because in card number 1 and card number 2, we're talking about it's me for me and no one else is here for me. So Spirit takes us a step further and says, no, when you were, receiving love and support that maybe was from only yourself and not from those around you that you sought love and support from, it allowed you to realize that you could love and support yourself, and also that we are here to love and support you. Release the idea, even though you've been working with the fact that you're alone and self-supporting yourself and self-soothing, work on the fact that alone-ish, but not actually alone, because we are with you. So the next card is pause here. So it's just another moment of reflection or aspect of the stillness. Another aspect of the stillness, this card says self-sabotage. When you learn to get out of your own way, There will be no stopping you. Most of the time, it's not others who prevent you from achieving your true goals. It's the inner voice that derails us, those careful woven plans. So pausing here, it's almost like this is saying, uh, most of the time, others don't prevent you from achieving your true goals. And if it's you versus you, then you'll be really clear that nothing else is really determining the state of you or the outcome of you or the manifestations of you except for you. So it's a way to simplify and get right to the point. Pause here means take inventory when you can't, I'm not going to say blame it on anything else, but when you can't, share the focus with other assets around you, and you know that what you're accomplishing, even if it's, I'm not saying accomplish like you have to manifest some result. I'm saying accomplish like even your effectiveness at being still. Like if you're trying to constantly attach things that aren't working to other reasons outside of you, the pause here card is actually talking about when it's you versus you, then you will know. You will know how you're doing when it's you versus you. So this is really cool. A lot of good insight here. Okay, the last card is this to come or things to come. What's the end game here? Oh, the end game again is you are not alone. This card is coming up again. So it's the card that says, we are here for you. We never left. Through all the sadness and loneliness, however, you cannot sense us near you or feel how much we love, how much love we're sending you. We are your family, friends, and guides. You never walk alone. We walk right beside you. So even though this was a card that we got earlier about releasing, this is also the end game of where you're going as well. So the deep dive into your solitude is so that you know that when you're alone, solving your problems and making it less complicated and simplified and really looking at the you versus you game, again, one of the benefits is yes, you are alone in a sense, but it's also to redirect your attention towards not actually being alone. So only when you feel alone can you discover that you're not. Okay? Because you've got that in focus and spirit is here with you. So I hope that was good for you, helpful for you. I hope you enjoyed that. I love talking about stillness because I am always someone who tries to force the hand of my manifestations. Like I'm a big hustler. I like to make things happen. I'm a Virgo. I'm go go go. But the quiet and still moments are often, even when spirit has to steal them away, and put them in my life against my against my interest of doing so. Um, Often the stillness are some of the most powerful parts of my life. So thank you so much, you guys, for being with me today. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. I hope you have a fantastic day. I love you so much. Bye bye.